state of stillness is a state of complete detachment and a state of deep contentment. There's just deep, deep contentment. That's, I know many saints and sages, Adyashanti more recently, have talked about contentment as synonymous with enlightenment. But it's just a deep contentment and stillness, that everything is just perfect as is. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to improve. We have lived with a mindset that is drawing us to be active and take active stances for and against things in the world. And then we start to go deeper into mysticism and deeper into non-duality and really deeper into that quote in the Course, seek not to change the world, seek rather to change your mind about the world. And pour our mind energy into just that, into just paying close attention to our thoughts initially, as we allow this flip from upside down thinking to right side up thinking. And then the only reason it takes effort for mind training is because of the belief in the upside down thinking. If you had no belief in it, there would be no effort required, and not even be vigilant for God and His kingdom. You know, not even that. But actually that's an aspect of the mind training, is to be vigilant for God and His kingdom, and be vigilant for right-mindedness. Seeing that there's no other cause but mind. There is no other cause but mind. You know, if you wanted a positive interpretation of the bird, each peck you could reinterpret as there's no other cause but mind. Boom, no other cause but mind. No, 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 no. It's the positive interpretation. Every peck is an opportunity for a miracle. And it's your mind that gives it the interpretation. It's the Holy Spirit in there, you know, trying to get the attention of the mind and saying, it's important, really. No, 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 no. You know, it's the Spirit coming in very, very strong and saying, you know, this is important. I'm not going to stop reminding you until you get it. And then it'll just be stillness, and you'll be like, yeah, okay, yes, 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 yes. You know, that's the flipping of it. So Jesus tells us that even when we experience fear, that underneath the fear is just this very strong call into love. Fear is properly interpreted as a call for love. That's how the Holy Spirit sees fear, as a call for love. And that's a turn that our mind must make to heal. Because as long as, you know, we still search, like we take those thoughts and we turn them around and we look at them and you know, like, well, it was a really lovely day until this one showed up. And it can be tempting, you know, to ruminate on an attack thought. But there is a beautiful teaching in the workbook of the Course, and where Jesus talks about the point where you'll be willing to let the attack thought go. He actually describes it, and he describes it as that point where you see that there is no difference between attacking and being attacked. You see, because the ego doesn't let you know that it's just about releasing the attack thought. It's always projected out onto the screen as a victimizer or a victim. And in the case of the recent shootings of the children, and then the 20-year-old who first shot his mother in bed, and he goes and shoots the children and the principal and the teachers, and then himself. You know, it's starts to be a little ambiguous, because, you know, the ego is right away looking, okay, who is the victim here? Who's the victimizer? And it's a little ambiguous there. You know, usually if it's like there's a villain, like a Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden is a target, oh, it can just go, oh, that terrorizing villain, you know. But when it's ambiguous, you know, there's all these emotions, grief and anger and all kinds of things, and without a clear target, it's a little more difficult. But the ego always has taught us, the sleeping mind, that there's a difference between attacking and being attacked. That's how we have these concepts called victim and victimizer. And I just also saw Les Miserables, you know, the movie. We went to see it, and Frances, wow, she started bawling the last 5 minutes. It was so mystical. She's like, if that movie had gone on any longer, I would have cried forever and ever. I would have just cried and cried and cried and cried. Unlimited water, liquid to come out of the eyes. Because it was about healing unworthiness and going past shame and past guilt and past doubt and all those things, and really getting to the point of healing and release. And it was just very mystical at the end. It was spectacular. But that movie was really a good one too at really taking a close look at the whole thing of victim and victimizer, and really, you know, like starting to see that it's just not so. It's just a trick to think that there are actually victims and actually victimizers, when underneath those artificial projected constructs is an attack thought. The very belief that attack is even possible lies underneath the projection of a victim and a victimizer. You couldn't even have a victim and a victimizer without the belief in attack. So for me, all that enlightenment's about, all that healing is about, all that self-realization is about, is a convincing job from the Holy Spirit to the mind that attack is absolutely impossible. And if attack is not possible, then guilt is not possible. If attack is not possible, then sickness is not possible. Sometimes if you really want to look at an idea like sickness and how Jesus deals with it, he's like almost like talking to a preschooler, kindergarten. Come closer here. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of divine logic, and if you just follow my divine logic, you'll be very happy and very peaceful. Now sit down, here we go. I am not a body, and my mind cannot attack, so I cannot be sick. That's his spoonful of sugar, and there's no medicine involved in it. It doesn't make the medicine go down, because you don't need the medicine to go down. You don't need it if you start to realize, I am not a body and my mind cannot attack, so I cannot be sick. Now that, he is giving a divine formula to show that you must be whole and healed and invulnerable and powerful if you can follow the divine logic. And first he's asking you to see that your identity is not a body. And then he's throwing into the mix the very important one in the middle, and my mind cannot attack. And he's just given you the two premises that if you can accept them both, then you cannot be sick. Isn't that nice? Because if you cannot be sick, then that must mean you're invulnerable. Oh, that's empowering, to be invulnerable. That's good. Teach me how to get to the third one with the first two. But that's a formula that's right there in the Course in Miracles. I am not a body and my mind cannot attack, so I cannot be sick. The thing is, the ego made up all of time and space to make you keep believing that you have attacked God. You have attacked God in mind. You've ripped your mind away from your Creator, and you've pulled your mind away from its source somehow, as if that could happen, and that you actually are guilty of sinning and attacking and separating from God. So that's why the middle one is so important. And my mind cannot attack, because everyone who seems to come to this world believes that their mind has attacked God. Everyone who seems to come here, the definition of believing you're in this world is believing that you've attacked God. That's what the separation from God is all about. That's what the fall from grace is all about, believing that you've attacked God. And then the body part is just a substitute identity that's offered on top of that, so that you will never go back and question that you actually attacked God. The ego never wants you to go deep enough inside to question the original sin. What if the original sin wasn't true? Oh, the ego said, let's not even go there. You've got a body to deal with now. You've got survival issues. You've got all kinds of attractions, repulsions, and you're on shaky ground with this body, but don't ever go back and question the belief that you could attack God. And that's why that is a central idea in healing. And my mind cannot attack. If you look at the world, at all the seeming forms of attack, and I mean this cosmos is full of them. It doesn't matter whether you're looking at the atomic level or with nuclear fission, or you're looking at the level of molecules or form, where maybe you liked watching when you were growing up Marlon Perkins, and every week you look forward to Wild Kingdom, which animals are going to get ripped to shreds, with this soft voice narrating behind as some animal tears up another animal, and your eyes are glued as you watch for an hour at flesh getting torn by flesh, and you watch one little fleshy thing and this little cute little furry thing, and it's like Disney. You're all, and then chomp, chomp, chomp. It's chomped up in the end. That's what's described as the natural order. Attack, kill or be killed. That's the natural order. And then you can go on and you can watch, ER or the emergency room where there's bodies constantly coming and going in there, and attack and defense. Or you can watch your soap operas, or you can watch the Super Bowl, so you can see a bunch of grown men put helmets on and smack each other and knock the hell out of each other for 3 hours. But the thing is, this world of attack and defense is a projection of the ego, and it's a myriad of seeming attacks and defenses that are going on so often, so frequently, that they've become just accepted as just the natural way things are, and no one goes underneath them to question the actual thought of attack. That you could actually attack. That attack is meaningful. As Jesus says, no one who made this world ever stopped to pause and look at the insanity of what they were doing. They just built layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer until they got so caught up into the layering, like the movie Inception, some of you have seen. Dream upon dream upon dream upon dream, and there's so many layers of dreaming that before long you forget that you're dreaming. And you take the dreaming to be an actual occurrence. It's a dream no longer. And that's the whole cobweb of the ego. That's what it's doing. The whole thing is designed so that you will not question the idea of attack. You will not say, hey, where did this come from in the first place? The ego doesn't want you ever to answer that question, or to even raise it to doubt. Just accept it as true. And then sickness and a whole host of other illusions just enter in the gateway through that one illusion. That's we could call it the lynchpin. And if you can get down there and you can pull that lynchpin, then the whole projected world of illusions just unravels before your eyes. So that's exciting. It's really exciting to start to say, oh, I think I'm going to go for the lynchpin.